Hari Om. Welcome everybody to Hari Om. Welcome everyone to the 7th day of our Jnana Yajna of the Sadhaks. Today's Aarti will be from our Subramaniam sir, Vanita madam and Gopal sir. Please come for the Aarti.
आरती श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की। आरती श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की, दिव्य रूप मूर्ति करुणा की। आरती सद्गुरु की, चरणों में उनके शांति समाये। शरणागति की भ्रांति मिटाए। पाप ताप संताप हरण की। आरती श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की। आरती सद्गुरु की। वेद उपनिषद गीता को गाया। धर्म सनातन फिर से जगाया। शुद्ध नीति प्रीति शंकर की। आरती श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की। आरती सद्गुरु की। सिद्ध बारिकी तपोभूमि में नित्य विराजे गुरु हमारे। भक्त हृदय आनंद स्रोत की। आरती श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की। आरती सद्गुरु की। आरती सद्गुरु की। बोलो सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।
Hari Om. My humble pranams to Gurudev, pranams to Swami Brahmanandji, pranams to Mataji, pranams to Sheshadri sir, and pranams to everyone who is present here and who is watching online. Our today first speaker is Mr. Subramaniam sir. So Subramaniam sir is an entrepreneur turned wellness expert. He teaches yoga online and offline for general health and therapeutic. He helps people in practicing Vedantic meditation. He joined study group class from 1994 with late Krishnan Pandiyat, now continuing with Madam Amini Krishnan. So over to Subramaniam sir.
Hari Om everybody. I am Subramanian. There is a saying, when you are ready, the teacher will come to you. Pujya Gurudev. I offer my pranams to Swami Brahmananda, and I am here today because of my teacher, the late Sri Krishnan Padiyat, and today who is guiding us, his wife Ammani Padiyat. It's told in the Shastra, when you are ready, the teacher comes. The teacher, you don't have to go in search of teacher. When Shankara was roaming in the Himalayas, Gaudapada came in front of him. Govindapada came in front of him. In the same way, when Arjuna was ready, Krishna came. So I was taking my kids to Balabihar for the Shloka class. At that time, it happened somewhere in 1994. I got the acquaintance of Sri Krishnan Padiyat, and this very same week I started attending class in his house, and it goes on till this week. Today the class was cancelled because of this program. So I offer all my pranams to Ved Krishnanji and Ammani Padiyat. Every word I speak here today is because of what I have learned with their acquaintance. For us, the study group members, they are like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Sarada Devi for us. For me, they are like that. And today my topic I have chosen is Sannyasa Yoga. Sannyasa Yoga, which is one of the themes discussed in chapter 5, Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Before I get into this topic, let me share some thoughts to you on the styles of life and sadhana, right? Yoga, Nishtadvayam and Sadhana Dvayam. There are basically two styles of life, Grihastha and Sannyasashrama. Brahmacharya ashrama is prelude to Grihastha. So we will consider Grihastha. And Vanaprastha is prelude to Sannyasashrama. So we will take Sannyasashrama. That is what Krishna is also dealing. Grihastha and Sannyasashrama. Now, Krishna almost completes the teaching in the 4 chapters. What was Arjuna's problem was ignorance. Ignorance is the root cause of all the problem. Arjuna is under the total spell of Raga Dvesha. Because of that, till the war was started, he was extremely very confident of smashing everybody. But when the chariot was placed in front of Bhishma and Drona, he got terribly under the spell of Raga Dvesha, which is the root cause of all the problem. And so Krishna gave the teaching. The teaching is almost over in 4 chapters. And again Arjuna raises a doubt. Krishna, you praise both Karma Yoga and Sannyasa Yoga, Jnana Yoga. What is better, you tell me? Now Arjuna has still a doubt in him, a willingness that because he is emotionally charged, he is finding a excuse way to run away from the battlefield. So he is expecting that Krishna will suggest him to take sannyasa. So with that idea in mind, he is asking question. So chapter 5 starts a question with Arjuna. Krishna, out of the two, which is good for me, you clearly tell me. Without any doubt, you tell me. Then Krishna says, Arjuna, both are good. Both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are good. But for you, for majority of people, Karma Yoga is better. Why? Because directly getting into Sannyasa Yoga requires lot of maturity. One cannot get into Sannyasa Yoga directly. In Karma Yoga, in Grihastha Ashrama, in yoga of action, we have support and also we have responsibility. Whereas Sannyasa Yoga, support is also not there, responsibility is also not there. A sannyasi doesn't know when his next meal is going to come. That is why life of a sannyasi. Responsibility is also not there. But it is impossible to go to directly unless lot of preparation are made. Arjuna has got lot of Varya vasanas in him, Kshatriya vasanas in him. They have to be exhausted. Directly jumping into sannyasa, he cannot aim that. Now let us come to sadhana. Whichever lifestyle one chooses, this sadhana is important. Karma yoga and jnana yoga. Both for Grihastha Ashrama and for Sannyasa Ashrama, this sadhana is important. There is no choice in the sadhana. A Grihastha also has to go through Karma Yoga, which is a means for Jnana Yoga, and Jnana Yoga, which is a means for Moksha. Even a sannyasi, even sannyasa dharma yoga also, even a sannyasa has to follow this Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga to attain liberation. Now Krishna comes, now let us come to the topic. Now with this in mind, for Arjuna, Krishna says it is most suitable for you is karma yoga, yoga of action. You take that. So in that process, Krishna gives some points. I have chosen some slokas which tells what is sannyasa. Let us understand that sannyasa has got nothing to do with external appearance, the way one dresses. There is some people who know Tamil here. I have to quote this a small couplet from Tirukural, the very good work of Tiruvalluvar. He says in that, நீட்டலும் மழித்தலும் வேண்டா உலகம் பழித்தது விடுத்து விடின். Neetal, what? So growing beard is one aspect of sannyasa yoga. Malital, tonsuring the head is one. That is, these are the two indications of becoming a sannyasi. So Tiruvalluvar says, you don't have to become this if you have abandoned what world has told bad. So in a short couplet, Tiruvalluvar has told this. Now let us see what Lord says. In the third sloka is the very essence of this point. In the third sloka he says, he should be known as perpetual sannyasi who neither hates nor desires, for free from pairs of opposites, oh mighty armed, he is actually easily set free from bondage. Perpetual sannyasi. A wonderful definition is given. Who is a sannyasi? A sannyasi is the one who is able to handle his desires. Our Shastra never says abandon desires. Even when Lord Krishna takes the flute in his hand and plays, he is expecting good music, right? So every one of our God chose their own Vahana, Saraswati, lion, Vinayaka, this mouse, Lord Muruga, peacock, like that. Yes. Desires need not be abandoned. How do we handle desire? That is what we have to learn. That means Raga, Dvesha, Rahita. That was the problem of Arjuna. I have to kill Drona, I have to kill her. Duryodhana, I'll smash. But I don't want to kill Arjuna. I don't want to kill Drona. I don't want to kill Bhishma. He was under the total spell of, he could not handle his Raga and Dvesha. So, Shoka. Raga and Dvesha gives right to Shoka. Then when your Shoka comes, Moha, delusion, unable to decide which way to go. This is what says. So Lord Krishna says in this, you learn how to handle your desires. That is sannyasa. So a grihastha can be a sannyasi if he or she knows how to handle the desires. Let us take the example. Now we all like stories and examples. No, Janaka, how to be like this? We have the example of Janaka. Janaka's teacher, once he created the illusion of a fire happening. Janaka is a king. We all know. He's a great philosopher too. He was sitting in the class. The whole palace and the huts got fire. All the other students ran. They had their only piece of the alternate loin cloth or a towel in that. And they ran for their kutil and the cloth. Janaka was a king. He sat there. The lesson continued. Then the teacher showed. Always the teacher waits for Janaka to start the class. All the other students were boiling. Why you want to wait for Janaka? Then he told teacher, look now, see Janaka. That is how I wait for the Janaka to come to start the class. So he is a sannyasi who can handle his desires, who doesn't succumb to his desires, who is able to handle the pairs of opposites. He is a real sannyasi, not wearing ochre robe, not growing a beard, not tonsuring the head. They are all not at all the indications of. So the real sannyasa is internal renunciation. It has got nothing to do with external. Internal renunciation. We will take a few more slokas of the definition of the features of the sannyasin. Now we'll take the next sloka. Yeah. He who does, I'm weak in Sanskrit, so I don't want to, so I'll read the English translation directly. He who does actions, offering them to Brahman, abandoning attachment, is not tainted by sin, just as a lotus leaf remains unaffected by water on it. Another excellent example. Another excellent example. Now, why do we do actions with raga dvesha? Because of ignorance, we feel, because of ignorance and attachment to body mind intellect, we find I am limited to this body mind, I am incomplete. But actually we are eternal, actually we are deathless, but we think the body is deathless, the body is eternal, but we find always there is something lacking. If I do this, I'll complete. If I do this, I'll be complete. If I do this, I'll be complete. So because of that action, we go in circles, and we acquire papa and punya because of actions riddled by raga dvesha. So what now we have to perform actions abandoning attachment. If we perform actions like that, transcending the body mind, being a witness, being only a sakshi, that means the papa and punya accumulated by raga dvesha belongs to ego, not to me the witness, not to me the consciousness, not to me the awareness, not to me the Brahman. So offering everything to the Brahman, when we perform actions like that, it doesn't add to my sanchita, it doesn't add the load what I have of papa or punya. The example given, wonderful example we have. Whole day a drop of water is dancing on the lotus leaf, but the lotus leaf is never wet by the water. In the same way, if I perform actions like this without any attachment, attachment means what here? I depend on the world for my satisfaction, happiness, and peace. I am happy if my son does like this. I am happy if my son-in-law or daughter-in-law does like this. I am happy if my mother-in-law behaves like this. That is enslavement. That is shackle. That is bondage. That is samsar. Depending on the outside world for my happiness is samsar. So he is a sannyasi who performs actions completely offering to God. So he is not tainted at all. Take the example of this light. This light is illuminating the things in the hall. Some are of different shape, some are square, some are rectangles, different colors, some are clean, some are, but the light has no distinction at all. It illumines everything equally. The light is not in any way affected by the size of the object or color of the object or the cleanliness of the object. In the same way, a person perform action like this without attachment, without raga dvesha, is not tainted at all, like the lotus leaf which is never wet by the water. We'll take the next sloka, the indications, the features of the real sannyas, which is again I repeat, internal renunciation, and which has got nothing to do external. Mentally renouncing all actions and fully self-controlled, the embodied one rests happily in the nine-gate city, neither acting nor causing others to act. Another wonderful sloka. He is a sannyasi who thinks he is not in the body mind. Body mind is in him. We'll take the example of the pot and space. Let us imagine 100 pots are kept here. The space is not in the pot, the pots are in space. We can say the space is in pot provided the pot can condition the space. In no way the pot can condition the space, right? Space is when the pot is there. When the pot is broken, space is. So it is not the space in the pot, it is a pot in the space. So this sannyasi feels, what is this real sannyasi? Which is an attitude, internal. So he feels, I am everywhere. So, in the whole world, only in India, we do namaste like this. Nowhere greeting is done like this. Guru, namaste is same. God, namaste is same. Friend, namaste is same. Everybody namaste is same. Bhagavan, namaste is same. Why? Because when we do namaste like this, it indicates you and me are same. Essentially, you and me are same. Difference is peripheral. So don't look at the different peripheral. It is temporary. It will all go one day. But what is real essence in it is that the sannyasi sees this everywhere. So the sannyasi thinks he doesn't reside in the 9 gates. He is everywhere, and with that feeling, he operates. He feels that he is not the body man having consciousness. He is consciousness. He is consciousness everywhere, using the body mind to reflect. With one more sloka, I'll complete this topic of the real sannyasa. Sages took with an equal eye upon a Brahmana endowed with learning and humility, on a cow, on an elephant, even on a dog and an outcast. Why? Because this is samatvam. This is unity of vision. So many of us are sitting here, but consciousness is one. Because of this fact only, the sannyasin sees everybody same. Brahmana, learned Brahmana, ordinary Brahmana, cow, everybody is same. Because he sees this equality. He sees this oneness everywhere. Ocean, wave, bubble. Essentially everything is water. So what this says is, a sannyasin, what he does, real sannyasin. I keep repeating this. It is internal. So shift the vision from what appears and the substratum which appears as that. So what is the problem? The problem of samsara is attaching importance to what appears, and we get fooled by that, and we keep going in circles. So shift. We are only seeing light. We all know it is physics. We are only seeing light. The light falls on the object, reflects, and we are only seeing light. But that is taken for granted. Vedanta says shift. The sannyasi shifts the vision from the object to that light because of which I see the object. Shift the vision from what is appearing and the substratum because of which one substratum which appears as everything. So this notion, when you get, you are real sannyasin. So a grihastha can be sannyasin. So a sannyasi is not by profession, is not by any job we do, is not by any work we do, is not by any robe we wear, is not by any hairstyle. It is internal renunciation. Renunciation of attachment. Renunciation of the dependence that for my satisfaction, happiness and peace, I depend on the world. Then the shifts. Then what happens? We never work for satisfaction, happiness and peace. We work out of satisfaction, happiness and peace. That is a shift. So this is what I have understood with this chapter as what is a real sannyasin is. So I offer my thanks to this forum, to Swamiji, and my special thanks to, I miss Krishnan. My special thanks to Ammani. It has been a wonderful journey for me since 1994. And it continues. I can tell that, yes, on the path of Nidithyasana, the Vedantic meditation with the guidance of late Krishnan and Ammani, I am on track. It has continue, continue, and continue. So Hari Om, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us, giving the meaning of what is proper sannyasi. Even a grahastha can become a sannyasi, you said that. And the main cause for all our problems is the desire, where because of the wrong desires we get caught into this samsara. Thank you for that. And our second speaker is Mrs. Vanita Balaji. She has a master's degree in mathematics from Eastern Michigan University and is now an online tutor, tutoring students from all over the world. Associated with Chinmaya Mission from 2008, worked for CORD Siruvani from 2012 to 2015. Part of the RBI layout study group from Sheshadri sir, and completed at Balvihar Sevak training at Kolvan, and now conducting Balvihar at Kogilu, Yelahanka. She is going on to, with the topic Yajnas described in Geeta in English. Over to Vanitaji.
Hari Om. Thank you, Saraswati ji, for the introduction. Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Sri Sadgurave Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om. My humble pranams to the lotus feet of Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji and Swami Brahmananda ji. My pranams to Mataji and other acharyas of Chinmaya Mission. My sincere pranams to my Guru and guide Sheshadri sir and Lalitamma, and I thank them for this opportunity. Pranams to all the sadhakas present here. I express my gratitude to the study group members who helped me to evolve through our discussions and would like to thank my family members for supporting me. Hari Om to one and all. My journey with Chinmaya Mission began way back in 2008 when I used to take my children to Balvihar classes where they used to teach Bhagavad Gita slokas. At that time, I did not have any clue about these technical words used in Bhagavad Gita, though I was chanting the slokas. The real study started when I joined Sheshadri sir's study classes in 2018. It changed my perspective and helped me to understand the deeper meanings of the slokas with clarity and conviction. And one such word is Ajna. In the Bhagavad Gita, the word Ajna appears repeatedly in many chapters. But actually, when we hear this word Ajna, what comes to our mind? It is a ritual, a sacrifice, a homam, or a form of sadhana. Most of us think it as a ritual in which a offering is made into a sacred fire with chanting of the Vedic mantras. And indeed, this understanding is valid. In the Vedic period, such yajnas were performed for material and spiritual fulfillment. But the Gita gives another definition for this word. Our Gurudev, according to Gita, describes yajna as any selfless activity undertaken without egocentric desire in the spirit of dedication and welfare of the community. The very essence of Karma Yoga also states that any action which is performed as an offering to the Lord becomes an yajna. My Guru, Sheshadri sir, often reminds us that the intention behind any action is very important. Whatever the action may be, whether it is cooking, eating, walking, teaching, or even listening, it should be done with Ajna Bhava. I am sincerely trying to follow that from the time I joined the study classes, or rather from the time I became the member of Chinmaya family. Now, coming to my topic, yajnas described in Gita, I will be talking about the 12 types of yajnas explained by Lord Krishna in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. My talk is mostly based on Gurudev's commentary from his book, The Holy Gita. To recall, in the 3rd chapter of Gita, after listening to Krishna's discourse on Sankhya Yoga, Arjuna raises a doubt and requests Lord Krishna to clear it. He asks, Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi Keshava. His question was, which is superior, action or knowledge? Any true seeker can get such a doubt. To remove this confusion, Lord Krishna explains the twofold path of action and knowledge for self development. He begins by teaching the true meaning of yajna and why every action should be performed in the spirit of yajna. He continues, यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम् एषवोऽस्पृष्टकामधुक्. Here Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna that Lord Prajapati created the mankind along with Yajna at the beginning of the creation. This was done so that the humanity can live in perfect harmony with the universe. He says this is the very spirit of Karma Yoga. Krishna further cautions that actions performed without the spirit of yajna leads to the accumulation of vasana, and that becomes obstacles in one's spiritual journey. He adds, यज्ञशिष्टाशिना सन्तः मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वगं पापः ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्. Here, Lord Krishna says, those who share remnants of yajna will be freed from sins and ultimately reach Him. But those who do not share the Yagnashishta are in fact like thieves eating their own sins. This will become the reason for their fall from their spiritual path. In this context, Gurudev explains the Panchamahayagnas that are to be performed by every sadhaka. They are Deva Yajna, Rishi Yajna, Pitru Yajna, Manushya Yajna, and Bhuta Yajna. Each one of us are indebted to great rishis, our ancestors, and the ganas, and we make this offering to them to show our gratitude. Now, the questions which can arise in seeker's mind are, what is action? What should be the spirit of action? And what is the purpose of yajna? For this, Krishna begins his explanation. To perform any action, to perform any yajna, there are four basic requirements. One, the deity to be invoked. Two, fire for the offering. Three, materials to do the offering. And four, the yajna karta, who is the performer. Lord Krishna gives the purpose of yajna in the following famous sloka from the Gita, which gives the holistic view of yajna and Brahman. The sloka is Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. Krishna says, a perfect sage is one whose mind is established in knowledge and knows the infinite reality. When such a perfect sage performs any yajna, for him all these things, the sacred fire, the offering, the deity, and the performer are nothing, all are nothing but Brahman and Brahman alone. In chapter 4, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, Lord Krishna gives a comprehensive list of 12 yajnas and elaborates the four basic requirements for each of the yajna. A spiritual seeker can practice any of these yajna for the mastery of mind and senses. And thus, the Lord begins the list of the yajnas with the following shloka. Daivameva pare yajnam yogina paryupasate brahmagnava pare yajnam yajnanaivopajuhati. In this shloka, Lord Krishna gives the description of two yajnas, Deva Yajna and Brahma Yajna. The first among these is Deva Yajna. This is performed by some spiritual speakers in which they invoke a specific deity and offer oblations into the sacred fire to get their blessings. But from the different perspective of a perfect sage, Deva Yajna means an offering made to the Devatas behind the sense objects and sense organs. Whereas some other seekers perform Brahma Yajna. In this yajna, the seeker offers a conditioned self into the Brahman with a clear understanding that individual self is none other than unconditioned Brahman. After explaining these two yajnas, Lord Krishna goes on to describe the next set of yajnas in the following sloka. The slokas are Srotadinindriyanyanye Sayyamagnishu juhati Shabdadin Vishayananye Indriyagnishu juhati Sarvan Indriya Karmani Pranakarmani Chapare Atma Samyamya Yogagnau Juhati Jnana Deepite. The three slokas described here are primarily meant for controlling the mind. They are Yajna of sense control, Yajna of mind control, Atma Samyamya Yajna. In the Yajna of Indriya Nigraha, the seekers withdraw the senses even before they come into the contact with sense objects by controlling the very gateway of the stimuli. This is not as it seems and needs strong determination and discipline. Other seekers follow a slightly different approach. They perform Yajna of Mano Nigraha. In this yajna, the seeker allows the senses to engage in the objects but remains fully alert and detached. They offer sense objects into the fire of sense organs by which the senses are controlled. That is, mind is in complete control and does not fall prey to the external sense objects. Now, in the fifth yajna, Atma Samyamya Yajna, Lord Krishna describes a more direct method of self-restraint from the field of activity. These seekers use discrimination and knowledge of self to control both sense organs and organs of actions and offer them into the fire of right knowledge. The seeker has a clear understanding that I am the self is not the limited ego born out of body, mind, and intellect. This is Atma Samyamya Yajna. Moving forward, in the next verse, Lord Krishna describes 5 more yajnas. In the shlokas, Dravya yajna, stapo yajna, yoga yajna, statha pare, swadhyaya jnana yajnascha, yatah samshitat vrataha. The 5 yajnas described in the shlokas are Dravya yajna, tapo yajna, yoga yajna, swadhyaya yajna, and jnana yajna. In Dravya Yajna, seekers offer their dharmically earned wealth as charity to the needy. Some tapasvis perform tapo yajna in which they undertake austerities like vratas and offer it as sacrifice to the Lord. In yoga yajna, yogis follow a disciplined upasana in the form of Ashtanga yoga and offer that as a sacrifice to the Lord. In Swadhyaya Yajna, spiritual seekers immerse themselves in the study of scriptures and offer their reflections for introspection and revel in their own self. This is the pledge we undertake in our study group to lead a life with spirit of Yajna. In the Jnana Yajna, the highest of all, the seeker offers the ignorance itself as a sacrifice in the fire of knowledge. Lord Krishna declares, among all the yajnas, Jnana Yajna is the highest and it helps the seeker to reach his goal. In the next couple of slokas, Lord describes 2 more yajnas. The slokas are Apane juhati pranam, prane panam tatha pare, pranapanagati rudva, pranayam aparayanaha, apare niyataharaha, pranan praneshu juhati, sarvapete yajnavido, yajnakshapita kalmashaha. The yajnas described here are pranayama yajna, niyatahara yajna. The regulation of breath through inhalation and exhalation is called pranayama. This is very important in a spiritual journey. There is a deep connection between prana and mind. The moment we observe and regulate the breath, the mind immediately comes under the control. This yajna, in which mind is controlled through prana, is called pranayama yajna. Equally important is niyatahara yajna, moderation and discipline in food. The rishis of Vedic period were completely aware of the fact that a strict and balanced food keep both mind and body fit for the sadhana. In this yajna, the seekers control their ahara, by which mind gains greater concentration in a healthy body. After listening to these 12 yajnas, two doubts can arise in the mind of the sadhaka. First one, do all these different paths lead to the same goal or different goal? Are these only theories to understand intellectually or practically possible? For this, Lord Krishna says that these paths are only the means, not the end. He explains that all these yajnas ultimately lead to one and the same goal. When a sincere seeker pursues any of these yajnas with self-effort, he understands the purpose of yajna is to attain the supreme knowledge. And by this, sadhaka gets qualified to take up the dhyana yoga. And the deep meditation, the seeker ultimately realizes that the self is none other than the supreme Brahman. Finally, Lord Krishna gives a simple technique by which action performed can be turned into yajna. The famous sloka, Yat karoshi yat snashi, yat juhoshi dadasiyat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madharpanam. Lord says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give in charity, whatever you practice as austerity, do it as offering to Him with Samarpana Bhava. This way, action becomes yajna. Yajna is not about the outer fire, it is an inner transformation which takes the seeker to the innermost self. Let every action become a sacred offering with the surrenderance to the God. And it is Krishna's promise that whoever follows this path shall surely reach Him. Let us therefore perform these yajnas to purify, to control our senses and to purify our mind and become eligible for gaining the supreme knowledge. Let every action of ours become an yajna. For this, let us seek the grace and blessings of our Pujya Gurudev and Lord Krishna. Hari Om, Sri Guru Pyo Namah. Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you, Anita ji, for explaining the yajnas in a lucid way. To say about the yajna spirit, it cannot be other than our Swamiji to say how to work in a yajna spirit, that our mission, Swamijis, everybody work 365 days. So selflessly, without any expectation. So that is the main thing what we have to learn from them, to work in a yajna spirit. And next, our third speaker of the day is Mr. Gopal sir. Gopal sir is Gopal sir is a senior member of Chinmaya Mission who has been associated with since 1980. He served as the CHIC secretary and Chinmaya Mission secretary from 1991 to 1994. Actively conducted the study classes and guiding CHIC students. He also organized the well-known soul song Sandhya programs in Bangalore. Sir has hosted Bhalwar camps and yagnas at his home while living in Shanghai, China, spreading this knowledge. Now, sir is going to speak on no distraction for the one who does the right action. He is going to speak in English. Over to sir.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om. My prostrations to dear Puja Gurudev, or dear Swami Brahmanandji, Swamini Amma, Samatama, and all the Acharyas of Chinmaya Mission and the Acharyas who have helped in bringing me to this shape as of today. In this topic which I have taken up to discuss today with you, the logic that is behind why does a person who's in the path of yoga doesn't have distraction at all. Why does it, why is it so? Is it just simply faith? Krishna just says, whoever follows the path of yoga or the path of perfection, the path of righteousness, which like Gurudev puts it, is 100% never going to be destroyed. So it looks like he's trying to pep up Arjuna, who is in a pessimistic mind. Arjuna's mind is pessimistic. He wants to run away from the war. He also is now slightly got convinced that contemplation is very important in life. So in the first 39 shlokas of chapter 6, what happens is Krishna slowly gets Arjuna to understand that it is not just changing your way of life. Learning to change your way of life is not going to help. Every step through your life, you should start contemplating, and he starts giving the basics of contemplation, gives the advantages of contemplation, and slowly takes him to a position where Arjuna gets the Shraddha. So now you can see Arjuna who was asking, can you tell me what is important? Don't try to take me anywhere. Tell me perfectly what is required. The Shraddha is not there still with Arjuna. But in the chapter 6, he says, his question, which we are going to take it down the line, he says a person who's got Shraddha and a person who's in the path of yoga, what happens to him? So the change to Arjuna itself, the concept of learning what contemplation itself has brought that change to Arjuna, that it is not, till now he was saying that, tell me clearly what it is, because he was almost ordering Krishna, don't take me here and there, tell me what is perfectly the right path. But here he says, because he is putting the shoes of the sadhak himself and saying that, no, a person who has got Shraddha, a person who has got what he call in the path of contemplation, what happens to him? So before that, let's find out what are the things that are specifically told as part of contemplation. The physical aspects of contemplation, the attitude of meditation that we need to get into are all the what you call trial and errors that we do in our life to get to a level where Krishna says, you must start seeing me in everyone, and you must also see that I am there in everybody, and for that you must be ready. Are you ready for that? Then to start getting to that level, we need to take the challenges that we have faced in our life and see where we have actually not been able to have equanimity when we see a situation. For example, I see a situation, I get angry with that situation, then I should be able to contemplate and reflect, why did it happen? What did I miss at that time? I need to do it at a very low level. I need to start practicing it at a higher level. I might, once I start practicing it many times, what happens? It becomes slowly a habit, and then it becomes easy for me to get into contemplation. But in this process itself, what happens is, I am also gaining knowledge that no, I am able to understand this. I am able to understand this. There's a path where as I start learning, my ego is also going up. When I start practicing this, I am also trying to learn the world around. So I am in a combination of, I am also gaining ego because I am learning more. I see around me people are not learning so much. I am learning. which is good because unless we learn, we'll never know. But I'm putting my effort, Nididhyasanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam someplace. I'm learning out of it. And as a dual personality, I'm moving in my life. So in this dual personality, as I'm moving in my life, I get inputs from lot of sadhus around me. The sadhus will say, now you must start contemplating on the Brahman. So he says, okay, use Narayana Upanishad. So Narayana Upanishad, I take Narayana Upanishad and I start saying, Narayana, it's quite big, but I take one portion. There are two different portions in Narayana Upanishad. It's very interesting. It says, Om Ityekaksharam Namaiti Dve Akshare Narayanaeti Panchakshirani Etadvai Narayanasyastaksharam Param. So many verses which are meditative. One set of verses, okay. Then there are another set of verses. When you finish at the end of Narayana Upanishad, then you get Etadathirva Shiroyo Dhite Rataradhiyano Ratrikrutam Papannashayati Sayamadhiyano Divasakrutam Papannashayati. Both are in Narayana Upanishad. I am growing in both the ways. I actually start seeing this and say, it is told my papa should go, I can chant it every day. And I start getting fixed up in chanting Narayana Upanishad, or based on my vasanas, my nididhyasana, I take the portion which says, no, Mitye, Kaksharam, Namaitidve Akshare, everything is Narayana, start seeing Narayana and everybody. I can take the contemplation shlokas, or I can take the shlokas which give me punya. So in any karma I do, two things are going to come. One is I build up my path towards my ultimate goal of moksha, or I build up lot of punya. Invariably punya will come. When you chant all these things, they have the automatic results which will be coming to us punya. Now what is that I am going to concentrate on is what is being told in this chapter 6, saying start concentrating on these contemplations. Start thinking about everybody is me, I am in everybody. Now start detaching yourself from taking a punya karma which is focused on punya. Start taking karmas which are focused on places where I can start to learn how do I contemplate more. So this is what Krishna has been telling till now. So Arjuna has now understood the difference. Instead of going to this path, punya keeps coming, doesn't matter, but I need to focus on what brings me knowledge which can remove my ignorance. And once I get that knowledge, I do my contemplation, then I am on the path of yoga. This is what he calls as path of yoga. Now in the path of yoga, I put lot of effort, and Krishna says you need to put lot of effort. And in that path of yoga, as I put lot of effort, lot of my time is spent where I don't concentrate on developing punya for me. So what has happened? I have selected the person whom Arjuna is talking about is a person who has selected this path and he is not focused on the punya. Punya will come. Like he chants Narayana Upanishad, focuses on those shloka, he starts understanding more and more the world. He sees Krishna everywhere, or he sees Narayana everywhere. He has been in the path of yoga. Now, Arjuna gets it out. A person who has put so much effort from not focusing on punya at all, but completely focusing on the path of yoga, suddenly what happens? There could be three types of shaktis which will pratibandha will come from different places. It can be adhyatmika, it can be adibhautika, it can be adidevika. Something happens, your life is stopped. So he says, because he has not reached the state of perfection in yoga, all he has done is waste. At least if he had got punya, he would have gone to Swarga at least. What is that you're trying to tell this Asaraka? You're actually putting him in a mess. He will, if punya is there, based on his punya, he might get another chance to develop all these punya karma. But punya is also, he is not focused. So this is what Arjuna is saying. Then he says, you are saying all this, see me in everybody. It cannot happen. It cannot happen because the mind is chanchala. I cannot have a common mind. Means in some mood I am able to see Krishna everywhere, some mood I am not able to see Krishna everywhere. Krishna says, no, abhyasa. You must do practice, it will happen. But when he finishes that, he adds one more twist. Krishna adds one twist. He says that, okay, but if the person is not completely focused on ensuring the intellect controls the mind, the intellect is controlling the mind, there are chances this person can fail. But a person who cannot control the mind through his intellect has got chances to fail, and he might not be able to do contemplation. So Arjuna gets afraid now. Arjuna, as a pessimist, is afraid. Oh my God, I don't want to take this risk. I also want to get some punya so that no, I can survive. So he asks Krishna. That is why he comes and asks Krishna, what happens to those people who actually, like he says, the Krishna says, the uncontrolled self. Now, what is this uncontrolled self? Very interesting, because if you don't understand why Arjuna asks this question, is a bit difficult. A person who has got low purity in the mind, less chitta shuddhi, but is in the path of yoga. What happens? He gets distracted. Some small thing happens, he gets distracted, but he's in a path of yoga. He is understood, I don't want punya, but I want to be in the path of yoga, but I get distracted. So that person, is it a waste? All his life he has put, is it a waste? So he asked this question, saying that no, ayati shraddhayo peto yogacha yogachalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kangatim krishna gachati. So he says, what happens to the one who has full shraddha? See, Arjuna is saying that I am talking about a person who has got shraddha. He has actually taken up this path and he is in the path of yoga, but wanders in his path completely due to circumstances. See, circumstances can happen. Ayatihi means anything which could stop our progress in this Vedantic path. Because there are so many Shaktis that are happening. Lord might want us to do some other thing. We are caught on to path of yoga. But he says, no, yoga had some work to do some mistakes. Something you have to do, you have to face some problems in this life itself. So you might be taken out of that path for some reason. He knows the reason. Does it mean all the effort he has put becomes a waste? So, in this, the reply to this, Krishna says that, see, anything that we do is coming out of what we did in the past. Whatever we have invested in the past is today's present. Whatever we do today will be in our future. We cannot escape that. Just that this person is no more in this world doesn't mean it will go off. So Gurudev gives a very good way of looking at this, very interesting way of looking at it. He says, okay, let me see what is the answer of Krishna, then explain that. Okay, Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Partha Naiveva Namutra Vinashtasyasya Vidyate Nahi Kalyana Krut Kaschit Durgatin Tata Gacchati. So Gurudev's explanation is saying that a person who has strengthened the intellect, a person who is on the path of yoga, will never face any destruction. And he says also that this is not some statement to make Arjuna optimistic. He was in a pessimistic mode because he was asking all these negative questions. Oh, I can't do this. Mind is chanchala. So Krishna gives him a solution. Do practice. Then he says that no. Why should somebody focus on this? All the effort they put is going to go a waste. Again, next Janma they have to start from base. So it doesn't look to be a very good option for people. So Krishna gives this, and Gurudev gives a very good explanation of why. What is the logic behind this? Krishna's instruction. See, he starts by saying that in all our religions and Hinduism, one major difference is any action we do, the sin is coming for that action. So you take any religion, no, they'll say you do a mistake, there'll be a judgment by somebody who will say, because you have done this activity, I will put you in hell or I will put you in heaven. So this is what is the common thing across, and he says this is also there in our Puranas. But he says Vedantic explanation of karma and its phala is different. He says Vedantic explanation of karma is that you do an action today, the action will punish you or action will give you a reward. There is nobody in between who is coming and saying that no, you will get reward, you will get punishment. He gives a very good example of saying you got a transformer which is 20,000 volts. They put very clearly danger, don't touch and everything. You won't touch, immediately it gives you the result. Your action, the result is given by your own action. And he says the common principle of Vedantic is action, the cause and action, cause and effect are nothing but the same but in different forms. He says your thought of doing this action, your activity of doing this action itself will give you a reverse, what you call reverse effect, which will trouble your mind. He says you take a person does an immoral act. There is nobody who is sitting somewhere to come and give you judgment. Your mind itself starts shaking. Your mind is completely stuck for the next 10, 12 years saying, when will I get caught for this immoral act? So the action itself punishes us. It is not that there is somebody who is punishing it. So he extends this logic. A person who is actually doing lot of righteousness in his life, that activity itself should give him result. It is not like, no, there Chitragupta is writing saying that you did so much of studies, everything, I am writing this in my script, and when you go to the next life, I'll take this and put it in you so that you can work. No. He says this activity that has been done, what happens is for every righteousness activity I do, I actually build up something in my chitta. So he gives an example of how a thought becomes an habit. He says, my thought to be on the path of yoga, then I say, okay, to be on path of yoga, I need to do some 2-3 actions. Let me start doing it. So I start doing 2-3 activities to go in that path. 1 week I do, 2 week I do. 1 year I do, 2 years I'm continuing in that. My thought has become a habit for me now. In 2 to 3 years, it becomes a habit. I don't have to go and study scriptures to say, should I be on this path? Should I not be on this path? I am already convinced I am there. Now, in difficult situation in life, where I am attracted, where Maya comes and attracts me, it will actually try to pull me in different ways, or I get pulled in different ways. Maya has got nothing to do. I get pulled by Maya in different ways. At that time, do I still maintain my habit? Then I have actually moved the habit to my own character in my mind. Now, my own character pursued in most difficult conditions in my life, in my situation that I face, if I ensure that I don't waver from this path of life, then it becomes my culture. Now, in this, all the stages that I have gone through, my vasanas which were there, the old vasanas are getting erased, and this becomes a very strong vasana in me. Every time I started from the thought to the habit to the character, and from the character to the culture that I become, slowly gets engraved in my vasanas. So this engravement is the result of my good actions. And he says, this vasana that is engraved in you comes to your next life, and from there you start your life. So he says, none of the righteous action that we do goes a waste, because the righteous action itself is ensuring that it becomes a strong vasana in me, and that strong vasana which is there in me slowly gets engraved in my vasanas, in my set of sukshma sharira as a strong vasana, and that goes with me to my next life, and from the next life, from where I have gone, that vasana pushes me back into righteous action. So none of the righteous actions that I have taken up today are going to go as a waste. That is what he actually, this is Gurudev's explanation. Fantastic explanation. Not written by in a sloka, but he says this is logic. Please understand, Krishna is not just bluffing you. Just saying, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Your next janma is assured. You do good work, he'll take. No, he says, no, look at the logic. Krishna is always very clear that Anything that we do, we are the responsible person for our actions, and this is what is going to come to us in the next life. So from the question, from the initial state where difficult to do contemplation, when that was explained by Krishna, Shraddha of our Arjuna goes up like anything. And that Shraddha and whatever he has told as part of yoga, these two starts getting into his mind, how should I do it? And when he is in that churning to say, how do I do it? He gets some doubts, saying that in this I can do. You say that one of the things of contemplation, see me in everybody, see everybody is in me. It is very difficult for me because I can sometimes when I'm calm, I can see it. And I'm not calm, I'm not able to see it. So my mind will not accept it. So he gives a solution. You should do abhyasa. There is no choice for that. Your mind should be under control. Do a lot of abhyasa. And when you do abhyasa, your mind and the intellect become married. Gurudev says, they become married. So you are not taken away hither and thither. And that intellect and mind which is married is ready for contemplation. But he says, you have come with a set of vasanas. Krishna says, you come with a set of vasanas. You have actually built up all this, no doubt. But what happens, your vasanas sometimes can pull you here and there. If your intellect is not strong, like I said, my habit to become a character, in between there could be challenges around me. They'll be saying, today it is okay, don't worry. Nobody is saying you escape this, whatever path you have taken. If I am able to avoid those things, then it is good. But Krishna says, all this is good, Arjuna, but even if one moment a person doesn't have the intellect under the control, intellect doesn't control the mind, he will not be able to complete his path of yoga. So that is the next stage he tells him. Then Arjuna gets confused because he is pessimistic. He wants to be very clear that no, this should not happen. So he asks that question sincerely. When he asks the question, saying what happens to him, Krishna says, don't worry, they will never get destroyed. And he concludes by saying, there are two things that will happen to these people. Whoever has put so much of effort in the path of yoga and who are actually built up so much of good vasanas, they've got two ways that will happen to them in their next janma. That is because they have actually focused on the moksha pada, not on the punya pada. By chance they have got punya, let us say. He says, by chance they have got punya, don't worry, they will go to the Devaloka, they will exhaust their Devaloka punya, they will come back to the earth, but when they come back to the earth, the vasanas will not go off. The vasanas will again put them in the path. So he says they might go to Devaloka because of their punya or the superior lokas. They will anyway come back because they still have a lot of vasanas. This good vasana itself is still there. No, they will have to come to exhaust the good vasana also. So they will come, but their vasanas will be strong enough to take them in their path. And he says, mostly these people, when they come back to earth, after they have completed all their punya in the higher lokas, they will get two types of what you call families which they will join. One is very rich family, but they are pure family. Very rich family, but they are pure, so that he can continue his sadhana. The second one is that they will be born in a family of yogis. And what happens? His path to yoga becomes very smooth for him. So he says that the nature itself will take care of these people. Why should you be worried? Don't be worried. And that is the solution Krishna gives. So I thank everybody for giving me this opportunity to share this with you. Hari Om.
Thank you, sir. We understood that. So, what you sow, so you reap. So, you get whatever you deserve, not what you desire. So, finally, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our Swamiji, because on the sadhana day, Swamiji said one thing. So, all those speakers who are going to speak for the 75th year celebration, he said, you are not going to teach others, you are going to learn something. So that is so much, it's happened. We all are experiencing that these 2 months we are going through so peaceful, and our mind is so good. We can't express that experience. Thank you so much, Swamiji, and we always expect your blessings and our Sheshadri sir's guidance throughout, so that we keep continuing this in a more proper way. Thank you so much. And we are coming to the end of the program. Tomorrow is the last day. So tomorrow's speakers are Bharti Bhatt. She'll be speaking of Saguna Nirguna Bhakti, and Shivakumar from Olati, Promise by the Lord, and Dr. Galigi, Descent of Man. So now over to our Sheshadri sir.
Hari Om. Thanks to the three speakers, they have made us all very, very wise. Certainly, it was very thought-provoking. It has come from your many years of sadhana, and I hope all of you will agree with me. These three talks today has been a great inspiration and full of benefit to all of us in our path of sadhana. Thank you very much, and thanks to our Saraswati who moderated today. Thank you very much. We have finished in the first phase. We had 7 talks in Ragigudda. Now we have the 23 talks. Out of that, by today we have finished 20. 20 plus 27 over. And 3 more are going to be over tomorrow. That means 30. Then in the month of July, we will have in Indiranagar 7 talks. And then in Bansang in August, we will have 6 more. Then Rajajanagar, and finally we come back. So we'll be finishing 75 like this. This Puja Swami Brahmananji, it was, as our Saraswati said, his concept. He conceived it and he made us all do it. And Gurudev's grace, it has happened. So we thank Puja Gurudev for his grace and Puja Swami Brahmananji for his blessings and guidance. Let us all thank him, not by claps, but with pranams. This is a part of Yajna. In fact, Puja Brahmaji has called it as Geeta Jynana Yajna by study group members. But in reality, it is Yajna of Puja Swami Brahmaji. These 23 people are the instruments. The performer is Brahmaji, and I hope you all agree. Right. And we had this greatest benefit we had was, it was on 110th Jayanti. But all of us owe a lot to Puja Gurudev, Puja Swami Brahmananji, to the entire parampara of Acharyas. So as is a tradition, we will have what is called as Guru Dakshina. All of you have been given these forms, this GD envelope. Please fill it up, as Gurudev says, inside and outside. Fill it up. And then bring it here. Tomorrow we have got, after the end of the 3 speakers, we will have, we are going to offer Guru Dakshina and receive Guru Yajna Prasada. Now, 2 more things. Many people have been asking, probably they are not here, are there any person here who is not a mission member? All of you are mission members? Okay, there is no problem. And how many of you are study group members? I think all of us. How many of you are not study group members? I think you must register today only. Those who are, you have seen, of course, this is a minority, the number of people who are not study group members. Please become a member, and it will bring you a lot of changes in your life. You will not lose anything. So number one, tomorrow, please spread it in your classes. Talk to your members in your study groups when you go back. Tell them, tomorrow, we must have all study group members here tomorrow. All study group members. And also, we would love to have all the 75 speakers, those 30 who have already talked and the 45 who are going to talk. So all the speakers, all the study group members are requested to be here. This is the small gratitude that we can offer to Puja Gurudev. Tomorrow, please come. When you go home tonight, remind your class members to come. Not only remind them, not only tell them, you can tell. In fact, Gurudev was saying, you should not be like a postman who delivers posts. Forwarding the messages doesn't help. Instead, talk, inspire, motivate, make them come here tomorrow. A small work, a small task is given. Ensure that this hall is full. We must have more than 250 people here tomorrow. All the study group members, all the speakers, and all those who are not study group members will become study group members. Thank you very much. Thanks for. Bring new people. That's what it is. Yes, if possible, bring new people. So please come with this cover, we will exchange. And today we close with Shanti Path. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Thank you. See you tomorrow.